All Asian markets are in the red.
Prime Minister lands in New York 20th of June for a 4-day visit of the US.
So we start to rebuild, if you wish, financially.
Aberdeen is selling its entire 10.2% stake by a block deal today.
If it comes for rebidding, obviously we would be bidding in this tender again.
The first tick on the index is flat, very, very quiet.
The Nifty is pretty much struggling below the 18,700 handle.
As we know, Indigo has just signed the largest deal in aviation history, where Indigo will buy 500 A320 planes from Airbus.
Domestic mutual funds and leading long-only fund was a buyer in today's block deal.
Mid-caps doing really well, so those are the ones which are outperforming the benchmarks with gains of around 54 points.
Well, that was the day so far. You're with us here in the last hour of trade this Tuesday afternoon. We're coming to you live from the CNBC TV 18 Motira Oswal studios. I'm Prashant. With me, my colleague Surabhi here in the newsroom, in the studio. Mangalam is joining us from the newsroom floor as always. Guys, hi, good afternoon. Slow and steady, and as we start this edition of 2:30, you've got the market which has now come back into the green, and this is the greenest the Nifty has looked since the start. But slow and steady recovery from early on. I mean, that's been the theme. Not really going anywhere though. On the upside, maybe that will change as we get into the last 60 and then 30 minutes of trade. I was mentioning last Thursday's low as being important as some sort of a pivot. And guess what? Today's low and last Thursday's low are just 5 or 6 points apart. So today's low is 18,660 and last Thursday's low was 18,669. So, that 10.8, basically about 670 or so should be, or 660 or so should be the level which the market should defend on the way down if we've got to keep our head above water. Nifty Bank is slightly above the 40-day exponential moving average, the day's low that was breached, but not right now. Let's watch that to be held on a closing basis. That number stands at 43,456, and mid-cap and small-cap indices are doing just fine. I mean, there is enthusiasm. Yesterday, some of the air got deflated out of the rally intraday from being up 1%. Those indices closed flat, but they're back up. Mid-cap index is up 3/4, and the small-cap index is doing even better. Lots of action, lots of ideas, lots of stocks which are jumping 10, 15, 20%. And we'll talk about many of them over the next 60 minutes. Surabhi.
Hi, Prashant. Yeah, it's a remarkable comeback, right? From the lows that we were seeing in the morning, 10:30, we hit that low of, I think, 18,660 thereabouts. Yeah. And since then, it's been a very steady ride up. However, I must point out that the global setup is still not very good. If you're looking at Wall Street futures, there's a pretty sharp crackdown, at least right now, on the S&P 500 and the Dow. Let's see how this plays out. About 0.5% lower on Wall Street futures. European markets are still lower. CAC and DAX are down between 0.4% and 0.5%, depending on which picture you're looking at or which index you're looking at. But against that backdrop, these are the declines that I'm talking about. But against that backdrop, our recovery is absolutely remarkable. So on the large cap screens, I think autos have been the clear winner. Autos have come back after a couple of days of sitting out of the action after some profit taking. Today, they are the names that are right on top. So Tata Motors, Bajaj Auto, a couple of others, Eicher Motors as well, between 1% to 2.5%, depending on which auto stock you're looking at. And then there has been steady buying in technology, which is interesting. Even yesterday, we had a little bit of a glimpse of that when TCS had turned positive as well. And that continues today. So you are looking at stocks like Tech Mahindra, Wipro, Infosys, even TCS for that matter. I mean, all of your large cap technology names are providing some comfort and support to the market. So technology is looking good. And then there's life insurance. There is absolutely no stopping the life insurers, HDFC, SBI. They are up and about. On the broader side of the market, I'll just take some names before tossing it to Mangalam. There's definitely momentum that's back. Look at Ramakrishna Forgings, 6%, Central Bank of India, UCO Bank. These PSU banks are really looking quite smart. But Mangalam, I guess one would have to say that from the morning lull that we had and this nervousness that we had from that point onwards, this has been very, very smart from the bulls.
It's been extremely smart. In fact, that exactly was, the expectation this morning as well, with the SGX Nifty indicating a dip. Dips in our market have been bought, and that's better than, chasing rallies. And that's what we saw today as well. That 18,650 to 18,700 mark has been an important support zone. The supports on Nifty have been moving higher. And after testing very close to record highs yesterday, we saw some bit of profit taking. Today as well, there was a dip. It was the perfect opportunities for bulls to go ahead and put in a strong showing, and that's what they have shown. In fact, the Nifty is now up 20 odd points, and a large part of that recovery was also led by, the kind of moderation that we saw in excesses after yesterday. Yesterday, the put-call ratio was at 1.29. This morning, we went into trade with the put-call ratio being closer to 0.89. So as a result of which, there was some moderation, and that gave some more ammunition for fresh long build-up. The other thing that happened was the mid-cap index, which has already been outperforming. Because the Nifty found some support, we saw more gusto in the mid-cap index. So the mid-cap index has now moved to the high point of trade as well, and perilously close to a record high on that index after hitting a fresh record high yesterday as well. Now, the last hour, the business end of today's trading session, we will track two things. One is the Nifty Bank, which had been underperforming, and now that too has recovered from the lows as we speak, has moved into the green. And the second thing that we'll be watching out for is the Nifty Financial Services Index. Why is that? Because it is a Tuesday, it is the Financial Services Index expiry, and in that, the Nifty Financial Services Index is between 19,350 and 19,450. So it's right in the middle of the positions that both call writers and put writers have taken. Put writers believe that 19,350 is the level that will hold on, and call writers believe that 19,450 plus levels, where the Nifty Financial Services right now may face some resistance. So if we continue to hold above these levels, maybe some shorts will cover their positions and we'll see a sharper rally in the last hour or so. But suffice to say, it's been a smart recovery. The question is, when do we go to a record high? Not if, once again.
Okay, Mangalam, we'll not talk about record highs, and then it'll come.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. The moment we put that countdown and that timer up, right?
We'll do a what do you call reverse jinx. So,